Here we are again, yes, all together on a very rainy day here in England. We have had so much rain this morning, I can't begin to tell you. We won't be outside, unfortunately. We are in the studio for this particular live stream. Yes, it is English Addict Live from the birthplace of the English language, which just happens to be, England. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I really hope you are feeling good today. It's a wet one, a very wet day outside. Mr. Steve had lots of plans to go outside and continue with his garden renovation. Unfortunately, he can't because it's been raining. Everything now is soaked. Oh, I like that word. Soak. If something is soaked, it means it is very wet. So maybe if you walk out on a rainy day, your clothes might become soaked. You soak something. So that word can actually be used as both a noun and also a verb. So you can soak something, you can get it wet, and of course, you can be soaked. Very nice, very nice. Here we are then. My name is Mr. Duncan. For those wondering who the heck is that weird man staring at me, my name is Duncan. I talk about the English language here on YouTube. I've been doing this for ever such a long time. How long have I been doing this for? A very long time. That's what I just said. Many, many years. I remember it well. Way back in 2006. I remember it as if it was yesterday. 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 Oh, sorry about that. I was drifting away there. I was having a lovely memory of when I started doing this many years ago. Here we go then. Oh, I hope you are having a good weekend. Yes, we have made it almost through the weekend. I'm okay. I'm still standing up, even though today I have a slight problem, which I might tell you about later. Just a small problem that has been causing me some pain. I might mention it. I might talk about it. I don't know, really. Oh, it's Sunday. I hope you are feeling good. Yes, we have made it all the way to the end of the weekend. A new day is dawning for some people. Tomorrow, it's the big day, everyone. The big day. People around the UK are waiting patiently, but they are very excited because tomorrow the shops are reopening. People will be able to run out. They will be able to go out and buy things once more. Personally, I won't be doing that. So tomorrow I won't be rushing out to the local department stores to buy things that I don't need. So I won't be doing that tomorrow. Instead, I might be sitting in the house thinking about all those people running around. Or, of course, I might go into town tomorrow. I might go into Much Wenlock and have a look to see what is happening. In fact, I might even do a live stream tomorrow from the centre of Much Wenlock, which happens to be the place in which I live. So we might do that tomorrow. We will see what happens because at the moment the weather is not good. In fact, right now, outside the window, there are thunderstorms taking place. And also we've had lots of rain this morning, so there is a lot of unsettled weather. You can see outside it looks very dark in the distance. And that's because, well, as I just said, right now, as I talk to you, we are having thunderstorms. Just in case you can hear the occasional rumble, you might hear the rumble of thunder in the distance. If not, well, that's pretty good. I'll be very pleased. Oh, hello, Mr. Pigeon. Mr. Pigeon is trying to escape from the thunder and lightning. I think so. Shall I say hello to the live chat? Oh, I suppose I should, because you are a very important part of all of this. Without you, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't, honestly. Can you hear the thunder? Wow, it's quite dramatic. Very dramatic outside my window at the moment. I hope my electricity doesn't go off. That's all I can say. I hope my electricity does not go off, or else this might be a very short live stream. Oh, hello to Wafay. Wafay, a big hey to you. Hi there. Guess what? You are first on today's live chat. Congratulations and celebrations. You are first on today's live chat. I think you must have a very fast finger, Wafay. Also, Mehmet is here. Vitas. Also, Beatrice. Hardwi. Hello, Hardwi. Where are you watching at the moment? Hello, Irene. Anna Pika is here as well. Also, Mustafa. We have Rosa, Feden, also Palmyra. Hello, Palmyra. Nice to see you back. I know sometimes it isn't possible to watch all of my live streams. I know you have very busy lives, and also I know that you have a lot of things that you have to do every day in your life. So if you can't make it, don't worry. Don't worry, it's all right. Hello to Irene Berlim for you. Nice to see you back as well on this very unsettled day. You might be able to hear the thunder rumbling above the studio. Quite dramatic, in fact. Miguel or Miguel is here as well. Helena. Hello, Helena. A big hello to all of the English addicts. I hope you are all well and satisfied. I'm not feeling too bad today, although if you look closely at my eye, you might be able to see that my eye looks a little red. And that's because yesterday I went outside with Mr. Steve. We had a lovely walk. Unfortunately, I became affected yesterday by hay fever. So badly was my hay fever that yesterday afternoon I had to lie down on the bed and my eye was really painful. And I woke up during the night to find that my eye was really swollen. It had become really large and inflamed and quite painful. It's raining now, by the way. So my eye today is really quite painful, very sore and a little uncomfortable, to be honest with you. So if I seem slightly distracted today, you will know why. Because I have a pain in my eye, unfortunately, due to being outside yesterday with Mr. Steve. We walked into town yesterday. Would you like to see something that we spotted yesterday on the walk? Now, there are many fields nearby that are owned by the local farmers. However, in one particular field, we saw something rather beautiful and unusual at the same time. You can see this is one of the farmer's fields, but this is a very unusual crop. There are lots of poppies growing in this actual field. You might notice there are many poppies, red poppies, and they were all swaying in the sunshine yesterday. It was a very hot day, and we went for a walk. There you can see some more poppies. So these are the poppies in one of the fields next to my house, and we passed this yesterday. Can you hear the rain falling at the moment? Goodness me. It sounds as if the roof of my studio is about to fall in. So this is something we filmed yesterday. Some beautiful poppies. Very nice. Very beautiful. We might also have another view in a moment. Oh, there it is. So this is an unusual thing to find in a farmer's field. I don't know how they got there, but I've never seen them there before. I've never seen poppies in that field before. Something rather unusual, in fact. I wasn't expecting to see them there, and that's the reason why I filmed them. However, and this actually is connected to my hay fever, because to film those poppies I had to walk through some very long grass so I could get near to the poppies, and that is the reason why my hay fever became so bad yesterday. This is very strange. I don't think I've ever done a live stream during a thunderstorm. Very weird. So my hay fever yesterday got so bad, and the reason why it got bad was because I was walking through the long grass, and some of the pollen went into my eyes and up my nose and into my throat. So no, it was not very pleasant. However, I did get some lovely shots, some lovely footage, some lovely video clips of the poppies growing in the field. As I mentioned, tomorrow the shops are reopening, and here in Much Wenlock we are already prepared. There is one of the signs. So that is a photograph I took yesterday. You can see what it says: maintain social distance. So that is a new sign that has been put up. It's thundering above my head. And oh, is that Mr. Steve? Yes, I can see Mr. Steve. Can you see Steve lurking, walking around in the distance? So we are already prepared here in Much Wenlock for the reopening of all of the shops tomorrow. Everything is almost back to normal. Not quite, but we are getting there. We are getting there. Things are slowly getting back to normal. I can't quite believe how bad the weather is outside at the moment. Let's have another look outside. Wow, look at that. The rain is coming down quite heavily. We also have a lot of thunderstorms. You might even see a flash of lightning. Ooh, I wonder. I wonder if I leave my camera on for a few moments, maybe we might just see a flash of lightning going across the sky. Probably not. No? Okay then. Be like that. Ooh. Live chat is very busy. We have lots of things to talk about today, by the way. We have a competition, a new competition. And what I'm going to do later on is I'm going to show you some words from the English language. What you have to do is tell me if the word is American English or British English. And then I will give you the alternative word. For example, if I show you a British word, I will then show you the American word that has the same meaning. So we are playing the Brit-Merica game. I know it's a rubbish name, isn't it? It's an awful title for the competition, but I've tried my best. So we are calling it the Brit-Merica game. So we are talking about British words and American words. I will show you some words from the English language, and you will have to tell me if they are British or American English. Ooh, Mr. Duncan, that sounds very interesting. Of course, we have Mr. Steve here. He's not here at the moment. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at Mr. Steve's chair. So that is where Mr. Steve will be sitting in a very glamorous position. Look, isn't that wonderful? I can't wait to see Mr. Steve sitting in that very glamorous corner in front of the radiator. I hope Steve doesn't get struck by lightning. Mr. Steve, you must come back in. Please, Mr. Steve. Don't go outside. Come back in. We need you here on the live chat. Hello, Zuzika. Hello, also Marella, Tamara. Also we have, hello, Maria. It's nice to say hello to Maria. Also we have Feden, Connell, also Abu Omar. Nice to see you back as well. Irene. And we have Fatima. Hello, Fatima, watching in Morocco. Nice to see you here today. I have some excerpts from my full English lesson, one of them. And also we are going to take a look at something else today. We are going to look at the differences between British words and American words. So I will be showing you some excerpts from those lessons a little bit later on. You will also notice that we have the clock. A lot of people have asked, Mr. Duncan, can we have a clock so we can see that you are live? Well, there it is. There is a clock just above my head now, and you can see it's 24 minutes past 2 o'clock. In fact, today's live stream is going by so quickly already. I can't believe it. Hello also to Capdevi. Hello, Capdevi. Thor is in the sky at the moment. I just wish he would put his hammer down. I really do, because the noise is very distracting above my head. It really is. Hello, Tamara. There was an official celebration in honour of the birthday of the Queen yesterday. She is now 94. Yes, did you know that the Queen of England has 2 birthdays? Not 1, but 2. So you have the ceremonial birthday and also the official birthday. The Queen is the only person I know that has 2 birthdays. Very nice. Very lovely. Yes, they were celebrating yesterday, although it was very much scaled down. When we say scaled down, if something is scaled down, it means it is smaller than it usually is. You scale something down. You make it smaller. However, the proportions are still the same. You scale something down. So yesterday's celebrations for the Queen of England for her official birthday, 94 years old, was held yesterday. However, it was scaled down. It wasn't as big as it normally is. And we all know why, don't we? We all know why. Hello to... I can't read your name, but K-Po-Amu. Abraham. I think I will just call you Abraham. Is that okay? Abraham, welcome. It is your first time on the live stream. Thank you very much. Nice to see you here. And I suppose I should give you a round of applause. Thank you for joining me. Nice to see you here. If it is your first time, please let me know. Oh, yes. Luis Mendez is here today. Thank you, Luis. Thank you also for your lovely message that you sent to me, to my email address, keeping in touch with me, letting me know that you are all right. And, of course, any of you, you can all write to me because I have an email address. I also have a Facebook page. And also, if you want to send a small donation to PayPal, you can as well. I'm not sure what happened then. Did the screen go black? Did it really go black then? How strange. I might have to sort that out. Sometimes, you see, if I don't use things for a long time, sometimes things happen to them, strange things. So I haven't shown you my email address and my Facebook page for a long time. So I don't know why that did not appear. I want to show it, though. It's not fair. Come on, Mr. Duncan, where is it? I wish I knew. I can't even find it on my lovely list. That's not very nice, is it? Come on, email address, where are you? Anyway, if you want to send me an email, it is mrduncan@ymail.com. There we go. I've said it. mrduncan@ymail.com. And of course, it is all one word. I'm going to find that if it kills me. Where is it? Come on, where is my email address? I'm going to find it. Oh dear. Strange. Very strange. I don't know why that came up like that. But anyway, it doesn't matter because we are all here anyway. Oh, hello. Hello, Saturino. Hello, Irene. Come on, Irene, and watch me today so I don't get lonely. Haklau is also here. Hello, Mr. Duncan. Tomorrow I will have an exam and I am worried about it. Well, I'm sure we will all send you some good wishes. I hope your exam goes very well. Whenever you have an exam, you must always... What? What must you do before an exam? You must do some revision. You revise. It's a great word, by the way. Revise. So I always remember when I was at school before my exams, we all had to sit down and we had to study the things that we had already done, the things we had already been told by our teacher, the things we had already studied. And you call that revision. Revision. So before you take an exam, normally you will have some idea or some clue, or maybe your teacher will tell you what the exam is about. So can I wish you good luck for tomorrow, Haklau? And I hope you have a successful result with your exam. I really do. Hello, Yasia. Hello, also Black Gatcha. Oh, I haven't seen you for a long time. Mr. Black Gatcha. I can never remember your real name, by the way. Mikkel also says, be happy. I am happy. I feel very happy today. I don't know why. Even though last night I was lying in bed in agony. My poor eye was all swollen and inflamed because of the hay fever. And you might be able to see today my eye still looks a little red, unfortunately. Hello, Zor. And also, hello, Marilda. Nice to see you as well. So many people watching at the moment. Let us have a look at part of one of my lessons where I talk all about the differences between British and American English. So this is something that I made quite a few years ago. However, all of the rules, all of the words, all of the meanings are still in existence. Nothing has changed since I made this lesson. We are looking at the differences between British and American English, and also, a little bit later on, we'll be playing a game connected to that subject. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope so. In today's lesson, we will look at one of the most varying parts of the English language, which seems to cause a great deal of confusion for those who are in the process of learning it. Today, we will look at the differences between British and American English. When we say British English, what we are actually referring to is the way in which English is spoken in the United Kingdom. This includes Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland, where English is spoken widely. For some people, the term British English is a misleading one, but the fact remains that this terminology is the usual one when it comes to describing the way in which English is spoken here in the UK. These days, the term Standard English is slowly being used less and less, mainly due to the realisation that there is no real standard way of speaking English. The basic academic rules of English tend to be the same, wherever in the world it is being used. It is a common question, and one which is often posed to me. What are the differences between the way English is spoken here in England and the way it is used in the USA? Well, this is not an easy question to answer quickly. It would be better to break the differences down into sections. Differences between nouns. Differences between spelling and grammar. Differences between pronunciation. When it comes to word usage, there are quite a large number of words which differ between British and American English. Now we will take a look at some of these words. This list is not exhaustive, but many of the words here are in common use. General words: flat, apartment, building, block, pavement, sidewalk, road, route, motorway, freeway, junction, fork, roundabout, traffic circle, phone box, phone booth. These days, payphone is used in both British and American English. Film, movie, headmaster, principal, caretaker, janitor, photo, snapshot, public school, private school, state school, public school, marks, grades, term, semester. When it comes to actually speaking English, then the slight differences between British and American English become more obvious. American English tends to put more emphasis on the consonant sounds, especially the letter R. This is very apparent in words beginning with R, such as red,
red,
really,
really,
Robert,
Robert,
and rich.
rich,
Vowel sounds, such as those made by the letter A, are also emphasised. The letter T is a good one to look closely at. Occasionally in American English, the T sound is not pronounced the same as it is in British English. For example, letter,
letter,
better,
better,
bottle,
bottle,
throttle,
throttle,
metal.
metal,
More general words. Tap, faucet, power socket, power outlet, power cut, outage, tin, can, shopping trolley, shopping cart, shop, store, food shop, grocery store, corner shop, convenience store, sellotape, scotch tape, Tipex, whiteout, settee, sofa, couch, holiday, vacation, maths, math, iced lolly, popsicle, crisps, potato chips, sweets, candy, candy floss, cotton candy, cash point, ATM, till, cash register, estate agent, realtor. There are many ways of finding out the differences between American and British English. Most English dictionaries now point out these variations within their word definition listings, normally with the alternative spelling being placed next to whichever word is being defined. Parts of a car or an automobile: bonnet, hood, boot, trunk, petrol, gas, windscreen, windshield, number plate, license plate, gear lever, gear shift, exhaust pipe, tailpipe, lorry, truck, fire engine, fire truck, caravan, trailer, police car, patrol car, estate car, station wagon, car park, parking lot, car journey, road trip, overtake, pass. Clothing: trousers, pants, slacks, pants, underwear, shorts, jockey shorts, pumps, plimsolls, gym shoes, trainers, sneakers, polo neck jumper, turtleneck sweater, dressing gown, bathrobe, Wellington boots, galoshes, jumper, pullover, sweater, nappy, diaper, waistcoat, vest, vest, undershirt. And we will be testing all of that a little bit later on with our competition. Is it a British English word or an American English word? We will be playing that game, and also Mr. Steve will be with us as well in a few moments, finding out what Steve has been up to over the past few days. The live chat is very busy today. Thank you very much for joining me. Yes, we have a little game to play later on. It wouldn't be an English Addict without a little game to play as well. Welcome if you just joined us. It is now 19 minutes away from 3 o'clock on a Sunday. It is Sunday. I hope you are feeling good. The sun, talking of the sun, is coming out. I can't believe. Look, suddenly, look how different. You can see the sun is now shining on the leaves, even though in the distance it is still raining. What a strange mixed day we are having today. A very weird day here in England. I don't know what it's like where you are, but I'm not there, you see, so I can't tell you. Hello also Tomek, parking lot. Parking lot. A parking lot is an area where you park. So a public parking space, a place where you can take your car and park it. You leave your car in a parking lot. Quite often you will have to pay to leave your car in a parking lot, especially if you live in a big city. One of the things that many people complain about, especially those who live in places like London, is the fact that parking is very scarce. Places to park. And of course, if you want to park your car, quite often you will have to pay a very large charge. Even if you live in an area where you have to pay for parking, quite often you will have to park to pay to park your own car outside your house. Can you believe that? Can you believe that sometimes you have to pay to leave your own car outside your house? But in certain parts of London, I believe in New York as well, you have to pay to park your car, even outside your house sometimes. I don't like that at all. Hello, Sunshine. Hello, Sunshine. I was just talking about you on the live chat because the sun has now come out. Very nice. It's a lovely day here, in fact. You might be able to see this. The sun is actually shining on my face in the studio. I can't believe it. Apparently, Husna says it is 43 degrees at the moment. Very hot. It's hot here. Unfortunately, it's also very wet. That's the reason why we are having thunderstorms at the moment. If you have a thunderstorm, it normally means that the weather is humid. Humid. There is a lot of moisture in the air. Parking lot. We often say, in this country, we will say a car park. So in the UK, we will often say car park. A car park is where you park your car. In American English, quite often they will say parking lot. So the word lot just means small area, a small lot, an area that is given for a certain use. So when we say parking lot, it is an area where people can park their cars. So I hope that helps and answers your question as well. We also have Irene. Oh, hello, Irene. Diana Romano. Hello to you as well. It's true, in the UK the weather is so changeable. It is not 43 degrees here, fortunately. I think today it's around about 22 degrees, 22 Celsius here in the UK. It's humid, it's warm, it's very sticky. In fact, you might say that the weather at the moment is tropical. It feels very tropical. We are coming up to 15 minutes to 3 on a Sunday. For those who are wondering, you can catch me here on YouTube every Sunday, Wednesday and Friday from 2 p.m. UK time. That is when I am on YouTube. Sunday, which is of course today, Wednesday and Friday from 2 p.m. UK time is when I am with you. Mr. Steve is coming in a few moments. Yes, don't worry. I know a lot of you out there. You are all excited to see Steve You always wonder, will Steve have a smile on his face, or will he look a little bit unhappy? I don't know. We will find out very soon. I'm hoping Mr. Steve will come and sit in front of the camera, and he will be ready because I'm ready. I don't know about Steve. Where are you, Steve? Are you coming? I'm sure he'll be here soon. I have a strange feeling Mr. Steve might actually be here now. Who remembers the puddle dance? Does anyone remember the puddle dance? This is something I did a while ago, and it's a little dance that I did in a very special place here in Much Wenlock. And for those who don't know what it is, I will show it right now. That was it. That was the puddle dance in a very special place in the village where I live, which is Much Wenlock in the UK. Oh, everyone. For those who are wondering, yes, he is on his way. Are you ready to get up close and maybe a little bit personal as well? Here he is. It's Mr. Steve. Put your hands together for Mr. Steve, everyone. Yeah!
Hello, Mr. Duncan.
Hello, Mr. Steve.
And how are you today?
I'm okay.
Comment allez-vous?
Oh, what's that?
Well, Mr. Duncan, we've had some dramatic weather, haven't we?
Yes.
Hello to everybody. Hello to the regulars and also some new people. I've noticed Hushna 2020
Yes.
is a new person today. And we've got Amar, who used to watch your videos a lot, and he's come back today. So all sorts of excitement going on, Mr. Duncan, and the weather is just one of them.
The weather is horrendous.
Well, I was, of course, I'm still on my project of repairing and restoring the paving slabs outside. I can see them from here.
This is becoming now a very long project because the weather is now holding Mr. Steve up. You planned to go out, but unfortunately the weather has decided to stop Mr. Steve from doing his renovation work in the garden, which is good, really, I suppose, because then you can spend a little bit more time with us, can't you?
No, sorry. I was shaking my fists at the sky and saying, right, dare you clouds, rain upon me, when I am trying to restore my paving slabs.
Yes.
One thing I've discovered is there are a lot of worms under these paving slabs. A lot of worms.
Well, that's good news for the birds.
I know, because as I'm tapping away, it must disturb them. They all wriggle out from between the cracks in the paving slabs, and I have to rescue them and take them over to another part of the garden. But of course, when my back's turned, a bird comes along and puts it in its beak.
Well, that's what birds do.
I know. Well, yes. You see, I like to rescue all creatures. I don't like to see them suffer. But unfortunately, I must have inadvertently killed a lot of worms.
Yes.
Well, actually, that's not the only creature I've been...
By the way, Steve, if you do something inadvertently, it's a great word, by the way.
Yes.
That's a super... That should really go on my list of unusual words. Inadvertently. If you do something inadvertently, it means you do it, but you didn't intend to do it.
Yes.
It was a side effect of something you've done, normally an action, and maybe there is another cause or another thing that happens because of your action. Inadvertently. I
Yes.
love that word.
So when I was lifting up the slabs or putting them back, I was inadvertently killing some worms. But that's not the only creature I've been... I didn't inadvertently kill these little creatures.
Oh, I see.
They're ants,
Yes.
Mr. Duncan. Ants.
I'm sure many people will sympathise with that problem. Now, there is one thing you definitely don't want, Steve, in your house, and that is ants.
Well, I've discovered that they love making their nests underneath paving slabs. Particularly the paving slabs around a drain pipe or a drain cover.
I think we talked about this last week.
Did we?
Yes.
I don't think so. Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Did we say we were using Nippon to kill them?
We didn't say that. No, we didn't use any brand names.
That's the common one here, something called Nippon. It's like a powder. You squirt it around and it gets rid of them. I don't like to kill them, but on the other hand, we can't just let everything survive.
No. What?
Otherwise, the garden would just be a mess.
Well,
We have to have some order.
yes. Well, I don't mind ants outside, Steve. Ants outside are okay, but what you don't want is ants in the house. Now, I remember growing up,
Or in your pants.
we used to have ants that would come into the house, and you would open the cupboards. You would get some food out of the cupboard, and it would be covered with ants. And you would find ants everywhere, under the cupboards, in the drawers, where you kept maybe the sugar or the honey, anything sweet.
They like sugar.
The ants will go to it. I think so.
Anyway, enough about me. Enough about me, Mr. Duncan. What's
Okay.
been going on today?
We are talking about differences between American English and British English. I've already showed a short video, and we are going to play a game today. Steve doesn't know about this. Even you don't know about the game we are playing.
Surprise for me too.
So what we are going to do today, we are going to have a look at some words. I'm going to put them on the screen. And what you have to do out there in YouTube land is tell me if the word is British or American. And then I will give you the alternative word. So if I show you a British word, I will then afterwards show you the American word that is the opposite. So over in America, they will say something else. So that's what I'm doing. Like earlier, we had parking lot, car park. So in British English, we will say car park. We will put our car, whilst we go shopping, in the car park. Or if you are in the United States, you will say a parking lot. So there is an example of what we are going to do today. I'm thinking, Steve, tomorrow I might go into town. It depends what the weather is like. We might get lots of rain tomorrow, I'm not sure. But I'm thinking of going into town because
Not to
tomorrow
do a live
is
stream, Mr. Duncan.
a live stream from Much Wenlock Town Centre, because tomorrow the shops are reopening.
Well, they are. They are reopening tomorrow, yes.
Yeah.
Any non-essential shop is reopening.
Yes.
Now, to some people, a clothes shop would be an essential shop. Not to us, Mr. Duncan, because we're wearing the same clothes that we've worn for the last 10 years.
We just never buy anything new. We really don't. Some people believe that we are like paupers because we never buy new clothes. But it's not because of that. It's just because, I know we've said this before, I don't want to repeat myself, but we don't like wasting things. We don't like buying things needlessly. So that's the reason why. So I have clothes that are old. Steve, you have clothes that are quite... I think even the shirt that you are wearing today, I think that shirt may be 5 or 6 years old at least.
Actually, this one's probably only 2 years old.
Oh, okay.
Not
Not a good example.
Not a good example, but yes. I mean, particularly in the garden, I'm wearing jeans that must be 15 years old, if not more, probably 20 years old, and they still fit. They still fit.
Ah,
Although I may have to undo one of the top buttons.
yes.
But it's great to keep old clothes
Yes.
that you can then use for housework or for gardening in, that you don't mind getting dirty. So I don't like throwing anything away. I like to keep everything. And until something's worn out, I don't like to replace it because I feel as though that's a waste, not only of money, but also of resources.
Yes.
I've always been like that.
Yeah.
I've always been a saver
That's it.
rather than a spender,
But it's not just
which
because
is bad for you.
But it's not just because we want to go out and spend money and buy things. Sometimes you don't have to do it. If you don't need to buy it, then I suppose our rule is if you don't need it, you don't buy it.
But of course, we certainly could, Mr. Duncan, with all our millions stashed away. We could be spending
that's good.
every minute of
Yes.
the day.
Well, that's guaranteed that my PayPal account won't receive.
I'm joking. I think people know I'm joking.
Do they? Okay, then. If you say so. That's good. Thanks, Steve. Hello, Anna. Hello also to Lena. Oh, Lena is here. Haven't seen you for a little while. Yes, the Russians don't give greetings before their birthday. We say it is better to give birthday greetings a day later, but not before. Do you
That's
think that might
interesting.
have something to do with superstition, maybe?
Maybe, because what happens if you say happy birthday to somebody and then they don't have a happy birthday?
Yes.
They might blame you for saying it's your fault. You said happy birthday.
I suppose maybe wishing someone a good voyage or a good trip, maybe very similar.
Well,
Maybe
you see, you never say to somebody when they're going on the stage,
Oh, dear.
good luck.
No.
That's the worst thing. So that's interesting, actually. So in this country, you can say happy birthday to somebody before their birthday,
Yes.
but you can't say have a good show if somebody's going to do a performance. It's the worst thing you can say because
Yes.
that is supposedly, well, it's superstition, but it's supposed to be bad luck to say that to somebody. You can say break a leg.
Yes.
The opposite. So you say to somebody, I hope you're effectively saying, I hope something bad happens to you. And then it's like the reverse will happen. Then something good will happen and they will have a good performance.
Yes.
Yes. So perhaps we should say to people whose birthday it is tomorrow, for example, hope you have a very unhappy birthday.
Okay, then. I hope your birthday is rubbish.
I hope you have a dreadful, awful birthday.
I hope the candles burn your house down.
Yes. And then if the opposite happens, then they can say, well, it was because I said, and the opposite happened. Interesting. So I wonder in Russia, if somebody is going to do a performance on the stage, do you say have a good performance, or is it the same thing? Do you not say anything? We'd like to know.
Marietta says, I completely agree with the fact of keeping old things which are still in use and not wasting resources.
Yes.
I think clothing is the most common one. Apparently, we throw away an amazing amount of clothing every year. We just buy things. And I'm talking to the women, by the way. I'm talking to the ladies. You know who I'm talking to. And yes, I'm sure I will get lots of complaints saying, here, Mr. Duncan, you're being sexist. You're being prejudiced towards women. Now, we all know women like buying new clothes. That is not something I'm making up. I don't think it is sexist because ladies do enjoy. I mean, your sister, for example, likes going shopping. Even your mum sometimes goes out and treats herself to something. So I think ladies are more aware of their looks. And also fashion is something that's always changing. So if you are a fashion conscious person, but I suppose men, again, I don't think I'm being sexist towards men, if that's possible. But men don't really worry too much about fashion. I will be honest with you. Unless you live in somewhere like London, and maybe you have to keep up with all of the fashion that is happening and coming along.
Well, I think young people do. I think more so than when we grew up,
Okay.
because when we were growing up, my mother would knit jumpers for me, and I would go to school in them,
Yes.
and nobody would say anything.
No.
But I think if you went to school now in a jumper that was knitted by your mother, you would get a lot of ridicule.
Yes.
And people would assume that, I don't know, but you would get a lot of ridicule, wouldn't you?
Yes, I think so. I don't think any young person, any child nowadays would allow their parent, their mother, or maybe father, of course, to make or knit a jumper or a sweater or an item of clothing. I don't think it would happen nowadays. So I suppose, yes, I think you're right, Steve. Maybe young people are more fashion conscious. However, I think the average person over a certain age, especially men, we don't really worry too much about it.
Not over a certain age.
No. We wear things until they fall to pieces, until they completely dissolve on our bodies. I think so.
Although I think if you treat yourself to some nice new clothes, you do feel good about yourself, particularly if you know it looks good, it's new, it makes you feel more confident. So it is nice to go out. I don't like to go out if we're going out to eat somewhere, or well, not at the moment obviously, but when we used to go out to eat, or if I went to see friends, I'd like to dress up in something that made me feel good.
Yes.
Because it just gives you a bit of confidence. It shouldn't do, but it does.
Well, I have old smart clothing. I even have clothes that I bought when I was in China. I still have them and I still wear them sometimes. So I have smart clothes. However, they're not new. Some of them are nearly 16, maybe 17 years old, dating back to when I was working in China. Oh, Cap Devi. Thank you very much. Cap Devi.
That's for me, Mr. Duncan.
Is it?
It's for me.
Oh.
A contribution to buy a new shirt for Mr. Steve. Thank you, Cap Devi.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Cap Devi, too. That's very kind of you. Yes. Oh, well, I can go out tomorrow because the shops are open. I can buy myself a new shirt. Maybe I will do that, and I will wear it next week.
Don't forget tomorrow, Steve, you have to wear this.
You've got my thong again, Mr. Duncan. What are you doing with that?
The other day I joked that this looks like Mr. Steve's underwear, which it does, in fact. Steve does have some underwear that looks like this.
No, I don't.
But this is
I
not.
don't.
This is actually the face mask that we will all be required to wear from tomorrow. So if we go outside, if we go into a shop from tomorrow, we will have to wear one of these. Like this on our face. I don't like this, to be honest. It's not very good when you wear glasses. If you are wearing glasses, then what you find is your glasses start to steam. You get steam on your glasses.
It does muffle your voice slightly.
Also, people can't hear what you're saying.
Keep it on, Mr. Duncan. Keep it on. But thank you very much, Cap Debbie. That's a very kind and lovely thought. And it's also quite amusing. So, yes, I will go and buy myself a new shirt. Maybe I will do it on the internet because I don't fancy going to any shops even though they're open. Maybe I go to a charity shop and buy some second-hand clothes. How about that?
That's a good idea.
Tomek says, we used to darn our socks. Yes, my mother used to do that when I was growing up. She used to darn our socks. If you darn, that means that you're repairing the holes with a little bit of needlework.
Yes. A needle and thread. A needle and thread to repair things that are ripped or torn, especially socks. I think so.
Yes, because if you don't cut your toenails, you get holes in your socks.
Hey, Steve.
And I think it is a... Yes, Mr. Duncan?
Before we go off on another one, we are talking about one particular thing today. We are looking at British and American English. So we're going to look at some words. And what I want you to do, not you, Steve. So remember last week? Don't answer. Don't answer,
I'll
Mr.
be very
Steve.
tempted.
So this isn't for you, Steve. This isn't for you to play. This is for my lovely, lovely viewers out there in YouTube land. Okay. So British or American. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show some words on the screen. And what you have to do is tell me if the word is British or American.
British. Oh, I've started already, Mr. Duncan.
Well, I haven't showed any words yet.
I just can't stop myself.
I know, I've noticed that. I wish you would. British or American? So a British word or an American word? Would you like to have a go? So let's try it first. Once again, I have to mention to Steve, please, Steve, don't shout the answer. Oh, my eye
I won't
is
look
really...
at the screen, Mr. Duncan.
Wait
I
there,
won't
Steve.
look.
My eye is really hurting suddenly. Oh,
Yes, did you know Mr. Duncan was suffering with hay fever?
oh.
Have you told everybody? I bet you have.
I have this eye is really sore and painful, and now and again it suddenly really hurts, and it's very distracting because of my hay fever. Yesterday was really bad. So, oh dear, I might have to have one of those eye patches,
You want some
like
drops,
a pirate.
some eye drops.
Yes, I need something in my eye because it's really painful. In fact, it's starting to annoy me quite a lot today. I really want to rub my eye with my fingers, but of course you can't. You can't do it nowadays. So here we go, Steve. We are looking at some words, and what I want you to tell me is the word British or American? Don't say it, Steve. I know I have to... Please, Steve, don't say anything. In fact, if I just turn Steve's microphone off, say something, Steve.
No, I won't say anything, Mr. Duncan, don't worry.
That's all right. We can't hear you. I've actually turned Steve's microphone down. Okay, it's back on now.
I can mime, Mr. Duncan.
Mime. That's very good. Maybe you could do the actions of what the thing is to give a clue. Here we go then. Here's the first word. It is coming on the screen right now. Do. Don't say anything, Steve, you little rat bag. Don't you dare say anything, Steve. Here it is then. Oh, I might have to... I really want to rub my eye so much. Is there anything here I can use to rub my eye? I need to... It's a bit like having an itch. When you want to scratch your itch.
Tomek was getting frustrated that we were jabbering and not getting on with the game.
Who said that?
Tomek.
Tomek, really? Tomek always gets angry. You should calm down. Tomek.
He always says, get on with it.
Tomek, just take a deep breath. It's not good for you. I keep telling this to Steve as well. Steve is always doing this. I can see all of the veins on the side of Steve's head. They sort of inflate. They get really large. They're like big inner tubes inside a tyre on Mr. Steve's head. I have to say, calm down, Steve, and calm down, Tomek. It's okay. We are playing the game now.
Can I say the word? I can say that.
You can
can't
say
I?
the word, yes.
Bonnet, yes, bonnet.
Bonnet.
Are we talking something you wear on your head?
No.
Ah,
Well, don't... I just want to...
we're talking about a vehicle?
Yes.
Yes.
Something to do with a car. So a car or automobile. Of course, that's a good one, isn't it? Because in American English, Steve, they often say automobile. But in British English, we often say car.
Auto.
Sorry?
They might shorten it to, Americans might shorten it to auto.
Oh, yes, of course, auto. So maybe you go past a repair shop And you might see auto repair,
An auto shop.
auto shop. Are you doing an American accent, Steve?
Well, you know me, I can't resist. A lot of people are getting this right.
Yes? Oh, we have some answers coming through. Pachu says American, bonnet. Also, Kaiba says British, we say bonnet. Also, Richard says British as well. Sergio says Sergio is being awkward as well. I don't know why Tomek and Sergio, they are sometimes very awkward.
We like it. So what's Sergio saying?
Sergio says it's actually French.
It may well be.
Well, bonnet, of course, can be a hat as well. So a hat, normally what a pretty lady will wear when she's going to the local fair, or maybe if she's going out to a wedding, maybe she will wear her bonnet.
A bonnet. It's sort of a bonnet is sort of like that, isn't it?
Yes.
That's a bonnet.
Yes.
It's sort of a piece of cloth that sort of goes over your head.
Yes. It can be a type of hat as well. So is this British or American English? Oh, well, I suppose we'd better find out, really, hadn't we? So British or American? Is the word bonnet British or American?
Most people have got this.
Oh, yes. Jamelia says American. Alessandra says British. Rafa says, I think that Mr. Steve is British. Well, that's definite. I can definitely say that Mr. Steve is definitely British.
No way, I'm from America.
No way. Not with that terrible American accent that sounds nothing like American.
Come on, Mr. Duncan, get on with the game.
The word bonnet is, in fact, British English. British English. So we say bonnet, the front of a car, normally covering the engine. Is that right, Steve? Because you are the car expert.
You lift up your bonnet or you lift up your hood. Sometimes it's hinged at the back, so you lift it from the front. Sometimes it's hinged from the front and you lift it from near the windscreen, but usually hinged at the back so that you lift it from the front.
Yes.
And then you've got a little support, or if you've got a posh car, you'll have gas struts, which will keep it up.
Okay.
Yes, you can have a look at the engine, although in a modern car you probably wouldn't ever need to look under the hood under the bonnet.
Steve, just do me a little favour. Of course, in American English, we say hood. So thanks for giving that away, Steve.
Well,
hood.
People have said it.
So in American English, we say hood. So there it is. So British English is bonnet. And in American English, we say hood. So the hood of a car, or the bonnet. So the bonnet, or in American English, hood. The hood of the car.
Sergio's made an interesting point.
Yes.
It's the hat for a car.
Yes,
so yes, it's like a covering, isn't it?
Well, that's basically what its actual meaning is. It is a covering. So they do describe it. I think even in the Oxford Dictionary, they describe it as a covering for the engine section of a car.
So just like a bonnet would be a covering for a lady's head. Very good point, Sergio. Very good.
Here's another one. Congratulations to those who got it right. Here's another one. Is it an easy one or a hard one? We are about to find out. British or American? Is it a British word or an American word? What do you think? And this is something that we use to walk on. So walking on something normally along a street or maybe a small road. Quite often large roads do not have these, so if you are walking or if you are driving along a very busy road, you might not find these at all, because it would be unsafe or dangerous for people to walk on them. So there it is, the word is pavement. Pavement. The pavement. We have Beatrice, thank you Beatrice, Feden, Giovanni, Marietta, also Sunshine, Anapika, Tomek. We also have Tuan Yuin as well. Welcome along today. I might be live tomorrow, by the way, Steve. I might be live. I'm not sure at the moment.
I hope you are.
From the centre of Much Wenlock, because the shopping days are here again.
I wonder if that means the cafes and the restaurants will be open.
No.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I think some bars are going to open, so you can buy a pint of beer. However, those places have to have their seating, so you can only sit down in the garden or outside the building. You can't go in. So I think that is the main restriction still here in the UK. You can go somewhere, but if you are going into, say, a place where you might buy food, or somewhere like a takeaway where you buy the food and then leave, I think they can stay open. But other places like restaurants where you are indoors, I don't think they are open at the moment. I think they are still doing that over a period of time. But we can all go shopping tomorrow, Steve. Isn't it exciting?
I shan't be going.
You won't, because you'll be working.
I'll be working, and I wouldn't go anyway. I don't like shopping.
So here we go, Steve. Pavement. Pavement.
A lot of people have got this right.
Good. So is the word British or American? I'm trying not to sneeze. Excuse me a moment, Steve. I'm going to sneeze.
Bless you. There he goes. I've been hearing a lot of that over the last few days. At least I know where Mr. Duncan is, because I always know where he is because I can hear him sneezing.
Oh dear.
And it's his hay fever, unfortunately.
My hay fever
You've
at the
been
moment
suffering very badly from it this year.
really bad. Oh, yesterday I was lying on the bed yesterday. I felt so bad.
Mind you did walk through a load of tall grass yesterday in order to take some pictures of poppies.
That's it. I showed that earlier.
I know. So you have suffered so that you can show your viewers lovely photos of poppies in fields.
Yes. Can you see what I've done? I've suffered. I've given
Suffering
myself
for your
pain.
art.
Pain. I've suffered for my art, just so I can bring you some pretty pictures of poppies. And now I'm ill because of it. Poor Mr. Duncan. So here we are then. Pavement. Is it British or American? Some people have said British, some people have said American. What is it? I wonder. Shall we find out, Steve? British or American? It is British English. Oh, I see. Again, British English. Pavement. British English is pavement. The thing you walk on at the side of the road. The pavement is where pedestrians can walk. Pedestrian. You are walking alongside the road as a pedestrian. And normally you will walk on the pavement. Steve, any idea of the American equivalent?
Yes, I've seen that coming up. Quite a few people have got that. In American, it's a sidewalk.
Oh, I see. Is that what you think? Let's have a look, shall we? The American word for pavement is sidewalk. Yes, they will say sidewalk. Sidewalk. Which really does explain quite clearly what that thing is.
Yes.
You walk on the side of the road. So they say sidewalk, which I think is pretty good. Yes, I think that's very clear. It explains it very well.
It doesn't mean you've got to walk sideways.
No,
You walk normally, but you're on the side of the road.
that's it.
I wonder why we call it pavement.
I don't know. I think pave comes from cover. I'm sure it has something to do with covering, pave. If you pave something, you lay something down. So I think it has something to do with laying things down. So a pavement, of course, is laid down flat for you to walk on. So
Waldo says that in Spanish it's a pavimento,
Oh, okay.
which is similar to ours. So we
Yes.
probably stole it from European country somewhere.
We steal everything. A lot of English is just basically other people's words stolen and then changed slightly. I don't think anyone pretends that that isn't the case. I think so. So pavement is from British English, another common word. Here's another one then. The thing is it American English or British English? Are you ready, Steve?
I'm ready. I'm ready to say nothing.
I love the way it's going very dark in there, by the way.
Yes, I think we've got another storm approaching, Mr. Duncan. I hope we don't get a power cut.
That's
So if we suddenly disappear
Hmm.
off your screens, it's because we've had the electricity cut off. Maybe someone could say to us, I hope your electricity gets cut off,
Yes.
and then the opposite will happen, it will stay on, so that will in fact be good luck. But yes, I can see it's going very dark.
More rain is on the way. Okay, here we go then, Steve. Here is another one. Are you ready for the next word? Is it British or American? Is it American or British? Ooh, which one is it? Interesting. Interesting. I think I'm going to make...
Oh,
What?
I've just noticed you put it on. I hadn't noticed.
Oh, I see. What were you looking at?
I don't know. I was pretending.
Oh, I see. Did you just drift away there? So I'm going to make... You are getting darker and darker. It's quite strange, Steve. You are actually disappearing.
Turn
Wait,
up the...
I'm going to make Mr. Steve's camera a little bit brighter because you're slowly becoming a shadow. It's like
well,
you
you like to be brighter than me on the camera because it makes you look better.
No.
Yes, you do. We all know, Mr. Duncan, you like to have all the flattering light around you, and I'm in the shadows because you're, of course, in charge of this live stream. Mr. Duncan is now standing in front of me, adjusting the camera lens, opening up the iris, if that's the technical phrase. And attempting to make me look brighter. Can you put the beauty filter on while you're there, Mr. Duncan? Because I don't want any lines or wrinkles. Have you noticed with Mr. Duncan, he has the bright lights on that completely smooth out his wrinkles? Of course, I don't really need that because I haven't got any. Gasoline.
Is that better?
I don't know. I can't see. I'm sinking down in the seat. Yes, I think it does look better, Mr. Duncan. Gasoline. Well, we've got a mixture of answers from people on this one. We have got quite a mixture. Some people are saying it's British. Some people are saying it's American.
Oh,
Of course, you can shorten this word, can't you, Mr. Duncan?
you can?
Can we say what it can be shortened to?
Well, yes, it doesn't necessarily give it away.
Yes, you can shorten gasoline to gas, which I think is probably how most people in that particular country where that word is used, they would shorten it to gas. Can I put some gas in my car?
Okie dokie. That's good. Yes, Mr. Steve does look better. He's got a bit more colour now.
Thank you, Marietta.
You look good. Not quite as bright as me, but there you go. You can't have everything. So quite a few answers, Richard. I'm not going to repeat what Richard says.
What's he said?
I'm not going to say. I just said I'm not
I'm
going to say
intrigued
it.
now. I've got to go back and read it. Is it near the beginning?
Near the beginning, no.
Oh.
Are you okay, Steve?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Mr. Steve, you are so funny, apparently.
I do try.
He tries his best.
Well, when you're unattractive, you have to make up for it with humour in order to attract somebody.
Thank you, Zazika. Thank you, Nasima. Thank you also, Beatrice. Thank you very much. Let's have a look, shall we? So is this a British or American word? Shall we have a look? Which one is it? We are about to find out. What is gasoline? Bing bong. It's American English. So in American English, they will often say gasoline, or, as Steve correctly said, gas.
I'm going on a long trip, fill up the car with gas. Is exactly how an American person would say that.
Really? Okay.
Yes. And of course, we've also had the British equivalent. A few people have said that.
Yeah.
Gas.
When we say gasoline in British English, we don't say gasoline, we say petrol.
Petrol.
Petrol. So quite often we will use the word petrol instead of gasoline. Gasoline is American English. Quite often they will use the word gasoline or gas. Here we use petrol. However, we don't say pet.
No.
Can I have a gallon of pet? We still say petrol. Of course, generically, Steve, you could just say fuel.
You could say fuel because, I had a diesel car for many years, and it was the first diesel car I'd ever had before the one I've got now. And I kept saying, oh, I'm just going out to fill the car up with petrol, even though it was diesel. So yes, fuel would be the generic term. That would cover petrol, it would cover diesel, gas. Some people put, when I say gas, some people put gas as in compressed gas, don't they, in there. I'm trying to think of the correct phrase for it. Is it LPV? Is it something like that?
It's liquid petroleum gas.
Yes, you can actually literally have actual gas, but that's quite rare.
Yeah.
Actually, we did do a session on this, I remember, a number of years ago, and gasoline or gas is actually the correct term for that fuel that goes into an engine. We call it petrol. Petrol, in fact, is when you're refining oil. Gasoline is exactly what you put in the car, but petrol is like a less refined version. So the Americans use the correct phrase.
Yes, it's short for petroleum.
Yes, petroleum is actually a generic term for basically the oil that comes out of the ground.
So it's interesting how that's become the word we use, petrol.
Yes, whereas the actual, because when you get oil out of the ground, it's obviously thick and black, and it has to go through a purification process, and you get all sorts of different chemicals coming off. Petrol is, I think, the first one that comes off, but then you have to keep refining it, and eventually you get gasoline. So the Americans actually use the correct technical term for the fuel that goes in a car.
Interesting.
Yes.
Here's another one. We are talking about British or American words. It is actually in the form of a question, British or American. So here is another word. Does this word come from British English or American English? Here is the word on your screen. Right. Ding. Now.
Wow, Mr. Duncan. Interesting.
Yes. Is this British English or American English? What do you think out there in YouTube land?
I wonder what they say in Australia.
Tuan Nguyen Sun asks, can I speak with you for a few moments, Mr. Duncan? You want to speak to me for a few moments? Well, you're talking to me now through your little messages on the live chat. So I don't know what you mean by that. I don't normally do direct lessons or direct talking, you see. This is where I do it. I do it here so many people as possible can watch my live streams. I don't normally do things one-to-one, to be honest. If that is what you mean, I don't know.
Yes, Sergio, just answering a point there. Sorry, but going back to the last. Yes, why do they say gas if it's not actually gas? It's just a shortened version of gasoline. It doesn't mean gas as in like a vapor. Yeah, it's just a shortened version of gasoline.
Yes. It does. This is where the confusion can arise, though, when you think about it, Steve. So, a good example, and I know this is the example that I always use, but the difference between pants and trousers between American and British English. So there are differences. So here in the UK, pants are actually the things we wear under our trousers. It is our underwear. In American English, pants means trousers.
I thought you were going to use that one as an example, Mr. Duncan.
Oh, I see.
I thought you got that one coming up.
No, it's not coming up, or else, well, I definitely wouldn't mention it, because that would make the game a little pointless. Mr. Steve.
I'm here.
Anything interesting on the live chat?
Let's have a look. We've got a mixture. Some people saying it's American, some people saying it's English. Most people are saying it's American. No, a few people saying it's British. Yeah, no, there's a bit of a mixture.
Okay. I've never seen Mr. Steve so silent.
Well, you've told me to be quiet, Mr. Duncan.
I have not told you to be quiet, you little liar. Hello, Lena. Yes, we have some answers coming through now. Oh, Tuan Nguyen says, I wish I could go to Wales one day. Wales is a beautiful part of the UK. It's one of my favourite parts of the UK, in fact. Very nice place, Wales. If you ever get a chance, if you come to the UK, don't just go to London. Go to Wales. Have a look around Wales.
Come and see us first on the way.
Yes, you can pop in. You can pop in and have a cup of tea, maybe. Maybe not. So, drapes. Now, this sounds like something that when we say drape, it normally means cover. Cover. Something drapes over another thing. Quite often, material or cloth will drape or hang. So that gives you a clue.
But you're talking here specifically about material that will cover a window at night. So you draw the drapes or you close the drapes at night across your window. So if we say that that's what the word is that we're describing, that might change somebody's answer. Because as you say, to drape something over is to cover something, and that would be British or American. But we're talking specifically here about something that is used to cover windows.
Yes.
That is drawn across a window at night.
Something that hangs and also covers at the same time. Is it British or American English? Let's have a look, shall we? The answer is bing. American English.
Drapes.
Again, drapes. Can you please close the drapes? Or can you draw the drapes? Can you close the drapes? In British English, we will say curtains. The curtains.
A pair of curtains, we would say.
That's it, yes. So curtains, a pair of curtains. Can you please close the curtains? In the morning when I get up, the first thing I do is open the curtains. So quite often we will use curtains as plural because normally there are two. There are two curtains on either side of the window. So drapes, curtains. In American English, drapes. In British English, curtains.
And you can use the word curtains also has another meaning in English.
Mm-hmm.
It's curtains for you, Mr. Duncan.
Yes, there is an expression. So if we say it's curtains for you, it means something bad is going to happen to you, or maybe you are going to lose something in your life, maybe your job. It's curtains for you. Whatever you are doing in your life, whatever it is, it's going to come to an end. Something bad is about to happen to you.
You've sworn at your boss at work. You've used a swear word, or you've lost an important account at work, and one of your work colleagues might say, "It's curtains for you."
That's it. It's curtains.
Yes, it means.
And the reason why they say that,
that,
of course, is at the end of a show. So at the end of a show that's on a stage, what happens?
the curtains go across or they come down.
That's
it. So it's signifying an end to something.
That's it.
And when you're drawing your curtains at night, it's signifying the end of daytime and the transition into nighttime.
Hello to Wilson Michael. Can I say hello to Wilson Michael, who says on the live chat, amazing English teaching program. I always love this. This is the first time that I'm watching it live. I've always watched the recorded ones, but never live.
Oh.
Well, can I say hello to Wilson Michael, and thank you for joining me live. Thank goodness you are here watching it happen.
What's taken you so long?
Yes, as live can be. I always like to give some applause if it is your first time watching live. So if you catch me live, then I will say hello to you.
You need to give one to Hasnu as well from earlier. Hasnu, if you're still watching. In Spanish, we used to say cortinas for curtains.
Oh.
And Saturino is giving us a lot of, I think it's Saturino. Drapes comes from Italian drapo.
Oh, okay.
Drapo. So, yeah, thanks for that. All these words come from somewhere else. Usually not from England.
No, because, well, English is a young language. English is only, I don't know, around 1,000 years, which sounds like a long time. But there are many languages that are older than the English language. Quite a few, in fact. So that's the reason why. Although, having said that, I suppose it's fair to say that many other languages also derive their words from older languages as well. Latin is a very popular one. And also Greek as well.
Lolly says hello from France.
Oh, hello, France. Nice to see you here today. A lot of things happening in France. I was watching some of the reports from Paris. A lot of things going on there.
Really?
Just like here in London. Well, there have been some protests taking place, and also here in London as well. Over here in London. Not here in London, because I'm not in London. But over here, we've had a lot of protests taking place as well. So I hope you are safe and happy today. We are looking at words that may or may not be British or American. So one might be British, the other might be American. American English, British English. Let's have a look at another word, shall we? Here we go. Oh, interesting. Actually, we're going to have that one later. What I meant to show you was this. There we go, that's better. Now this is something that I have a slight problem with. I'll explain more later on, but this is something I have a slight problem with. British or American, we talk about season, and we are talking about TV. So in that sense, we are talking about television programs. So when we talk about season, we are talking about the run that a TV show has. And quite often, maybe you have one season and then maybe 2 seasons. And if people really like it, you might have 3 seasons or even 4 or maybe 18 seasons or 20 seasons.
But there might be 6 or 13 programs to any one series.
Yes. So you normally have episodes in a season. So the season is the group of episodes that exist. But the big question is, does it come from British English or do we use it in American English? There might be some arguments here, Steve.
I don't think so.
Okay. We'll see. So is season, when we are talking about television programs, is it British English or American English? Have you seen the latest season of... I'm trying to think of a current TV show. Oh, have you seen...
One that hasn't been taken off the air.
Have you seen the latest season of Rick and Morty? You see, look at me being very, very up-to-date and contemporary. Have
But
you
you're
seen...
saying that as though it's British English, which of course it might be.
Well, it might be. It might be American English. Who knows? You will find out in a moment. Thank you, Palmyra. Thank you also, Tamara, Feden. Thank you also, Michael. A lot of answers coming through here.
Yes, Tamara says British and American.
Ah, very interesting.
Very interesting, Tamara.
Yes, that's a good answer, actually. I like that answer. But is it
correct?
Is it correct or not? Oh, we will find out in a moment. So the episode is the one episode in a series, or as you can see there, it says season. Is it British English or American English? Let's have a look, shall we? Season is American English. However, and this is something I have to point out, there are people who don't like using season in British English, even though over the years, because American TV shows have become very popular over here, Steve, a lot of people now say season. In fact, I think we do sometimes. Have you seen the new season of The Expanse?
So Tamara was actually right when she said British and American. So it's an American word, but it's used a lot more in this country.
Yes.
Because typically an American season, so a series of episodes, will last typically a lot longer, won't they, than a British series?
This is actually a good point. Yes, in American TV. However, I suppose it's fair to say that they normally have around about 24 episodes in each season. However, they normally break those seasons up over the year. So they don't show all of the seasons, all of the episodes straight away. So in American TV or on American TV, even though the seasons are very long with 24, maybe 26 episodes, they normally divide them over the year. So you have an early season on television, then a mid-season, and then a late season. So even though there are many episodes, they are normally broken up over the year.
And we ought to say what the English equivalent word is.
The English equivalent, this is what we often say. We say series.
A series.
Series. So the first series, the second series, the third series. So series, which means a number of things. So this actually is relevant. You can use this series. A series of things is a collection of things that are grouped together. So that would actually work. So in British English, we say series. Quite often in American English, they will say season. However,
Which actually, I suppose, a season like spring or autumn, winter, is a long period of time.
yes,
So to call it a season is more accurate, because if you have a series in English in England, then you've probably typically maybe only 6, 7, 8
yes,
programs in a series,
that's
which would
it.
be
So it is interesting that we only normally even one season of a TV show on British TV is normally 6 episodes.
yeah,
that is-
sometimes a bit. They used to be longer. They've got shorter over the years. It used to be 13. Used to be a number that I seem to comes to mind.
Well,
a series of programs.
in the 1970s, quite often a program would run for 6 episodes. It was actually the norm.
Oh right.
And then, if a program was on all year, you would then have another 6. So over the year, you would probably have 12 episodes. There are some good comedy programs, I suppose I could mention from years ago. I suppose Fawlty Towers is one that's been in the news recently for various reasons. But they are 6 episodes. So each season is only 6 episodes. So it is common for British TV shows to only have 6 episodes. Sometimes they run to 12, but most are 6.
Not sure why that is, Mr. Duncan.
No, I don't know either.
We often think that American actors and actresses work very hard because they seem to, if you've got to do 23 programs in a season,
Yes,
that's a lot of hard work.
yes.
Particularly the comedy series that we watch, American comedy series, which we do like. They've got 20, as you say, 25. That's a lot of work. Whereas here, they'll do 6 or 7, and that'll be it. It'll be like a 6-month break before it's back on again.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that they're not doing other things in between, but
No.
It seems that the work schedule or schedule is a lot longer in America for a program than it is in England.
Well, of course, they don't make the programs all in one go. They normally have there are episodes that are in production or being written, and then you have the ones that are being actually put on or performed. Sometimes they are put on in front of a studio audience, and then you have the ones that are being edited, and then you have the ones that are complete. So it's almost like an assembly line in a factory. So these programs are constantly being put together all the time.
And there are other factors involved. For example, if the BBC doesn't have to generate money through advertising, so it doesn't have to make lots of programs to generate revenue from advertising. So that could be a factor. Sergio says, what about a theatrical season? Do we talk about a theatrical season in the UK?
Yes. Well, I suppose you can say...
We don't say a theatrical series, do we?
No. Well, the season is how long something runs for or goes on for.
Yes.
So it does relate to time. So in that sense, yes, it is correct. So a theatre season is when something starts and ends, just like the seasons that we enjoy with the weather. So that's the reason why we do that.
So we would use season in the UK to describe a run of a show. We might say a run of a show, but we might say season, would we, Mr. Duncan?
Yes, you can say that there is a summer season when certain shows will be performed in the theatres. So you can have a summer season. Normally the busiest time of the year for many theatres is the summer season.
So yes, so for television we would use series, an American would use season, but for theatrical runs we would use the word season. And also for sporting events, Marietta says we can also use season when talking about sport. Yes, we can.
Yes, because you're talking about time.
The football season or the cricket season. We definitely do use the word season to describe sport in the UK.
Because it's something that runs for a certain period of time.
Yes.
So season would actually be appropriate. However, a TV show is something that might be recorded and then stored. So it's not really happening at that time. It's just being shown at that time.
And Palmyra says season when you're talking about cooking. Yes, seasoning. You would say seasoning is like salt or pepper. So it's slightly different. But yes, you can season food. So if you season food, it means that you put salt or pepper in to give it a bit of flavour or maybe some spices. So yes, you're correct. That's another use of the word Palmyra.
Has the sun come out, Steve?
Slightly. Why, have I gone a bit bright? No, it's fine. Keep it as it is.
No, you look great. You're glowing.
I always look great, Mr. Duncan, you know.
You're glowing. So here's another one, because we only have a few minutes left. We are coming towards the end of today's live stream. I can't believe it. Here's another one. British or American English. This is an interesting word because it's one of those strange words that has almost 2 letters in the whole word. So you have 3 E's and 2 T's. It's not very often that you see a word that has so many of so few letters. So yes, there's a good example. Maybe I could do that one day, Steve.
Settee.
Settee. Settee.
Oh, well, this is an interesting one, Mr. Duncan.
Settee. Because it's a word
British,
that you might
American,
not have...
or
Sorry?
both?
Yes, you might not have come across this before. Settee.
The hunting season. Thank you, yes, Andy.
The season of breeding.
Yeah, the breeding season.
By the way, we were going to talk about words to do with being pregnant, but we're not doing that today because we don't have time. However, we might do that next Sunday. So prepare yourself, Steve. We are talking next Sunday about something that, well, we don't really have any experience of, to be honest. But being pregnant, expecting a baby next weekend. Not today, unfortunately, because we are completely out of time. Unfortunately, I'm ever so sorry about that. So this is the last one, I think, today. Settee. Settee. You sit on a settee. It is a large chair, normally holding more than one person. So you can have, I suppose, Steve, you can have a settee that holds 2 people.
Yes, or 3. 2 or 3, yes.
Or 4.
Could be made of covered in leather or cloth. It may even recline.
Ooh, like ours.
For added comfort.
We have our settee or sofa or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, we're talking too much about this now, you see. We're starting to give things away. This is the problem.
Well, somebody's brought another word into the mix, and we will talk about that afterwards.
Okay. So settee, settee. It's a great word, actually, because you can have a lot of fun saying it. Settee. Settee.
Are you saying that you would use that word quite a lot, Mr. Duncan? Is that a clue?
I'm not saying anything. I'm saying if I were to read it out loud, that's how I would pronounce it. Oh, yes, you see. I'm not giving any clues. Some are saying American English, some are saying British. What is it? Let's have a look at the answer, shall we? Is it British or American English? What is the settee? Which one is it? Ooh, British English. Settee.
Well,
You might say, I'm going to sit down and watch some television on the settee. Settee. I love that word. I don't know why. It sort of fascinates me. I'm fascinated by unusual words that have a very unusual appearance. And that is one of those words. Settee.
Sergio says settee. It's something to set our bum on for a cup of tea.
Yes.
I
You
like
s-
that.
Yes. So when you sit down, you are setting yourself in one place.
Yes, you're setting yourself. It's a use of the word set, isn't it?
Also in British English, of course, you can say sofa. Sofa.
Ah, well, there we
Yeah.
go. So I was going to say that you might suggest that that was American sofa.
Yes, well, it's interesting how sofa has become used in both. So I think it would be fair to say that sofa is used almost equally in British English and American English as well. So I think you might find sofa used in American English, but definitely in British English.
So you're saying that settee is English, sofa is American? Or sofa's... No, settee is English and so is sofa.
Settee is British English.
Yes.
Also, if we look at American English, you would say couch. Couch.
Well, Beatrice and Tomek both used that word to describe the American version. So yes, well done.
Couch. So
Well,
you
I
sit.
didn't know that, Mr. Duncan.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that because we sit on the couch. We do sometimes use that word. Settee, couch and sofa. Sometimes we
Yes.
use all three in the UK.
I think you find couch is a lot rarer.
Yes.
Settee and sofa.
Settee, sofa are the common ones in the UK, definitely.
At home, we used to say settee. When I was a kid, when I was a child, we always said settee.
We
Sit
did
on the
too.
settee. So that's what we used to use. Couch is often used in American English. Of course, they might use sofa as well.
Palmyra has used the expression couch potato.
A person who watches television all the time, they get fat and they
sits,
turn.
Sits down, yes, and turns into a big fat potato.
Yes. They normally have a very poor diet as well. I think, Steve, that is it. I think that's all we have time for.
Lovely.
I did have some more prepared, but unfortunately we don't have time to do it.
10 seconds to 4 o'clock, Mr.
We are,
Duncan.
yes, it's coming up to, you can see now on the screen, because now we have our little clock as well, you see. Getting very technical here. It is approaching 4 o'clock here in the UK. Thanks, Steve, for your participation.
My input.
Thank you very much for joining in today. We do appreciate it. Next week we are talking about words to do with being pregnant, and that should be interesting.
Well, Mr. Duncan, thank you for having me on, and it's been wonderful to share English with everybody today, and I look forward to seeing you all next week.
Thank you very much, Mr. Steve. That is Mr. Steve.
Bye.
He's going now. Bye, Mr. Steve's going. Bye. Oh, he's gone. Mr. Steve has left the live stream. Hopefully now he's about to put on the kettle and make a cup of tea, and maybe we can also have a lovely, delicious tea cake as well. Thank you for your company today. Andy says, I love to sleep on my couch. Thank you, Lek. Thank you also, Beatrice, Waldo. Thank you also. Oh, Waldo is watching in Chile. Hello, Chile. Nice to see you here today. Thanks also to Tamara. Thank you, Maria, Nestor. I'm going to leave you with an excerpt from my lesson that I made about the differences between British and American English. So this is what I'm leaving you with. I will be back with you on... When am I back? I'm back with you on Wednesday. However, I might be with you tomorrow. We will see what happens. The weather, I'm not sure what the weather forecast is for tomorrow, but we will see what happens. I might be live as all of the shops across the UK, or across England anyway, not necessarily the UK, but here in England, I know definitely the shops are going to open their doors after the long lockdown. I will see you on Wednesday if I'm not with you tomorrow in the town, being pushed around by people. I have a feeling that the town centre will be busy. In fact, I have a feeling they will all be busy across the country. See you on Wednesday. If I don't see you tomorrow, have a great rest of the weekend. Enjoy your weekend. And I will leave you with this excerpt from one of my English lessons. And of course, until the next time we meet here on YouTube, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Ta-ta for now.
Past simple, past participle. The following verbs have two acceptable forms of the past simple, past participle in both American and British English. However, the irregular form is generally more common in British English, and the regular form is more common to American English. Burn, burnt, or burned. Dream, dreamt, or dreamed. Lean, lent, or leaned. Learn, learnt, or learned. Smell, smelt, or smelled. Spell, spelt, or spelled. Spill, spilt, or spilled. Spoil, spoilt, or spoiled. In present perfect tense, there are some slight differences. For example, I've lost my wallet. I lost my wallet. Possessive clauses. There are two forms to express possession in English. Have or have got. Do you have a car? Have you got a car? He hasn't got any friends. He doesn't have any friends. She has a beautiful new home. She's got a beautiful new home. While both forms are correct and acceptable in both British and American English, have got, have you, he hasn't got are generally the preferred forms of British English, while most speakers of American English use do you have, he doesn't have, they don't have. The verb get. The past participle of the verb get is gotten in American English. For example, he's got much better at playing tennis. He's gotten much better at playing tennis. There are some words which are unique to American English. A good example of this is the word busboy, which means a person in a restaurant who collects the dirty plates and cutlery from the tables, not to be confused with a waiter who takes the orders and serves the food. There are some differences between the spelling of British and American English words. For example, words ending with ER, such as centre and meter, and words ending with CE, such as license and defence. Words ending in ISE, such as minimize, patronize, prize, recognize, specialize. There are some differences in the way prepositions are used. For example, at the weekend, on the weekend, in the team, on the team, write to me soon, write me soon. Some words are pronounced differently between British and American English. For example, aluminium, aluminum, basil, basil, data, data, duty, duty, oregano, oregano, process, process, tomato, tomato, tube, tube, vase, vase. More differences between spelling. The most well-known difference between British and American English appears in words ending with OUR, such as colour, favour, flavour, honour, neighbour, and of course words such as coloured, favourite, dishonour, neighbourhood. When it comes to word definitions, there are not that many serious variations between words used in England and those used in the USA. It is not as if you are having to learn two new languages. I know that when someone says mailman, they mean postman. I know that a freeway is a motorway. And I know that pants are trousers. When it comes to basic grammar, British and American English are almost the same. It is also worth remembering that word usage can vary, even in one country. A word used in one part of the USA may not be used in another. The same rule is also true here in the UK. More general words. Property or land, real estate, supermarket assistant, clerk, bank cashier, teller, postman, mailman, chemist, pharmacy, drugstore, label, tag, helicopter, chopper, injection, jab, shot, rubbish, garbage, trash, waste bin, garbage can, trash can, mobile phone, cell phone, TV aerial, antenna, wardrobe, closet, curtains, drapes, mortuary, morgue, coffin, casket, prison, penitentiary, child, kid, mum or mother, mom, queue, line. Believe it or not, English is one of the easiest languages to learn, but it can also be one of the most confusing. The differing uses between British and American English may appear to make the language very complicated, but in oral English the differences are far fewer. If I were to visit the USA, I would have very little trouble understanding what people were saying. In fact, when it comes to speaking, the only real difficulty may come from the misconception or negative thinking that there will be a problem. I may imagine that there will be difficulties, when in fact there are virtually none. The real differences tend to exist within the various regional accents rather than the type of English being spoken. When it comes to speaking English, be it British or American, there are many accents around. That subject we will save for another lesson.
There is one important word which I have left off the long list, as I have decided to leave it to last. In British English, you go to the toilet or lavatory. In American English, you go to the washroom, men's room, or bathroom. The British slang words for toilet are bog or loo, while the American slang words for toilet are John or